Okay, we're gonna try this again. I'm not echoing now. So, um,
Right
and
information.
so little settings that we have to do, and I was like, I wasn't gonna be able to take that. I can take a lot of things on podcasting and live feeds, but um, audio is one thing I can't do. Yeah.
Well, I was saying exactly because what I've witnessed for the last, Jeremy and I have been going through some ups and downs here, and not with each other, just with the energy. But I've been practicing with my blood pressure because, like I said, I'm telling people not to do what I did. But what I've done is pretty amazing because I started thinking about my body has always trained me and always talked to me and always worked with me deeply in the last 25, 26 years. And when I decided to take all this medication off, I knew I was taking a risk. And it did. And I'm telling people, do not do this because if you haven't done the inner work like I have, don't. Because there's too much fear factors in there. And I mean, even fear came up to me because I was getting dizzy for the last 4 or 5 days. And I was thinking, okay, first I thought it was energy. I thought it was frequency. I thought we were talking about the CERN, and I knew the CERN got fired up, and I knew the harp is still going. And I thought, is that it? But this was the weirdest feeling because I could feel it in here. So I just kept thinking, no, I'm not going to fall back into that same, logic about the pharmaceuticals. And so I've been doing cayenne pepper, ginger every morning for my coffee drink. Now, today I'm doing beetroot because I sat and studied about beetroot and I love beets, so it didn't bother me. And I've been drinking beetroot. I've been doing things naturally, and I've got to go to my cardiologist in 3 days, and he's going to be pissed. I can tell you right now, he is going to be so pissed. I'm 72. I've taken I had 5 pills that I took out. Blood pressure, my blood thinners, all of this. This is going against everything in the medical field that could possibly do. So do not do it for yourself until you really get really clear who you are. So this has been back and forth. And then, Jeremy's gone through some of his stuff. And this was like, I kept thinking, this is really about the mind more than anything. And so when I started really working again into the isometrics of what I used to do, and that is pushing, I'm doing a lot of taking tennis balls and pulling and really stretching those muscles and doing hand, I was dizzy. So the first thing I did is I took my thumbs like this and and then I started doing this. Immediately I could feel the dizziness leaving. So I've done all the reflection. That is so stroke. Reflexology. I've been doing that. I'm learning how to go back through my body to find the points. And I've been laying down and staying in 6 and 7 hours again. And it's amazing work because this morning I woke up and I know I have a podcast with a chiropractor today at 12:30, and I wanted to be prepared for him because I think the chiropractors have a true understanding of the physical as well as the electrical, and the muscles and how the bones really move. And I thought, I want to really utilize what I've done, so I'm going to tell them about what I'm telling you. So I'm excited this morning. I got up and did my bed. I did everything. I've done a lot of my, for my skin. Oh, my skin's much better, but it's still awful. It's like fire ants sitting in a shower. And you got to go through this. This is like when your skin is up here and you're scratching to the point. I mean, I've scratched so much that I've just got scars and blood. But there's a reason I had to scratch all of the things up for me to get uncomfortable in my own body to do something about it. And that's my coffee today. It's been like I've been running and I'm excited. And I thought and I started doing some inner work that I haven't done in a long time. And that is stretching my rib cage out from inside, bringing it back in and squeezing back underneath my heart. And people said, oh, you can't do that. Oh, yes, you can. You can do everything you want to in there as long as you understand that you're the one that can do this. And I mean, I can feel everything inside of my body and I don't have to move anything outside of me. I can go in and I felt all of this energy that, when I did my face, I couldn't believe it because I looked really sad. I mean, not sad, just old. And I thought, I'm not going to allow that to happen. So I just started. So that's my
And,
morning.
she's talking about energetically, guys. She's talking
No,
about
I was doing
energetically.
this hard. No, I was going under like this. I mean, I
Well, I mean,
really,
when you're talking about expanding inside and
oh
contracting
yeah,
from
that's
the
what I'm talking about. Is it? Yeah, you're not, everything has to do, it's internal. Everything outside is totally different than internal. And, I mean, I moved my ribs down. I stretched my spine back up again. I could feel it stretch down into the earth. And I thought, and then I just started expanding. And I felt so good. I didn't realize how I had encased myself in again. So that's my coffee chat for the day. It's that.
Well, mine was interesting too. I mean, it's one of those things where this year, and Roger Solon just said I started with a grounding connection and balance since a week ago. Great job, Roger. I'm sure it's been helping you a lot. It's that's one of the things that we do as well. But um, I've been going through this is the idea is that grounding, connecting, and balancing helps us in these times when it gets to be high stress. I'll give you an example. I had a symposium last week, and I have a enterprise. Um, Basically, I have an enterprise Zoom account, and so because of that enterprise Zoom account, it's under a sub account basically through Zoom. Well, this particular account that I'm under hadn't paid their invoice in a few months, and they were $55,000 past due. I didn't know this, and as a result, the other day, my Zoom got downgraded, and I couldn't get any of my recordings, and I needed to edit all the recordings for the symposium to get them out to people. Well, you can just imagine the stress that came through, and because I charge for those recordings. So, and when I first called Zoom, they wouldn't do anything for me. They were like, "Oh, you can't verify the account," and because I was under a sub account under an enterprise account. Anyways, finally, I'm not gonna lie, I channeled my inner Karen, and so I basically, I mean, I was still nice, but I was just like,
No,
no, I can't.
I've seen your inner Karen, honey. It's very exact and it's very,
I was exact. I wasn't mean to the person, but
no,
I
you
was
were
like,
very exact though. You can feel
but
it.
I was like, I'm sorry, I cannot take that. You have to get my recordings, and that is not an answer. So finally, we got it taken care of, but it was I was in a panic because I would have had to call everybody and just tell them this is what happened, and that's not a fun experience, of course. But you got to do what you got to do. So, um, but what we're talking about, and I want to kind of share something really quick, is this. And let me pull up the window here. So
There it
when
is.
we're connecting, grounding, and balancing, and I know a lot of spiritual people, um, um, a lot of people can't pull this, or a lot of people, can't. They visualize this, they see it, or they know about it, but they don't necessarily understand it fully. And when she's talking about pulling the spine up and down, she's talking about straightening this narrow path right here in the
That's
middle.
exactly.
And in the Bible, they say, there's a narrow path. There's a path that some only few will follow. And
Mhm.
so what this is when energy is in balance, as you can see, it kind of flows this way, and the energy flow, and then it kind of flows up. It's like, and this is the Merkaba that you see a lot of the ancient avatars in and stuff like that. Um, but it's basically when you're in that state, or some people would say zero point, or in stillness, this energy is flowing in a perfect state, and you're empowered, you're connected to the earth, and you're connected to as above so below. And so that's just one thing that, as we're going through a lot of these things, you say connect, ground, and balance, and it brings you back into this state where you're in your perfect state, I guess is the best way to put it.
It is,
And
yes.
so,
And it's a
um,
perfect state of healing.
yeah.
Everything comes back to that balance of healing. And
Yeah.
that's how you heal yourself. It's in that state.
And
Absolutely.
even the medical symbol when it's upside down like this, it's also like two pyramids that are upside down on each other. The ancients knew what they were doing.
Oh,
They knew exactly what was happening. But this world is set up. There's going to be things that are going to happen to you, and I don't care who you are, it happens.
yeah.
And so, what are you going to do with that?
Well, that's why
So,
you're here, isn't it? To learn how to balance even under the worst conditions, but still be in the stillness of the truth within.
yeah,
That's it. But that's the hardest thing because it is so distracted. We are so distracted outside of us to pull myself in. And I do watch TV and I do, people say, I can't believe you watch TV. I'm not watching TV the way I used to watch it. I'm truly watching what is going on about what they're trying to bring forward. And we don't have to take that, or we can take that in and see how that really works for us, because we're going to have to start being more conscious of what we're feeling and what we're hearing. And that's exactly what it was, exactly what he's talking about. That's what I did. I took the heart. When I used to do this work really deep, I had anatomy books, 6 and 7 of them sitting out, and to see exactly how every muscle, every organ worked. How did that all work? Because I had to first go into the flesh of it all to find out how I can remove it. And I remember the day I removed all the organs and everything, pushed them all aside, and I had that one narrow road. And it is amazing. I mean, I look back at that and I'm amazed by what I've done and what by being honest with myself. And the same thing with you. And you, Jeremy, you've done the same thing. I mean, we're working on a different level, and I want everybody else to see this level, to really to come forward and find out that within them, because that is the true understanding of the universe. It's it's all within. There's nothing outside. So yeah. Good
yeah, and
work.
that throws people off, and I mean, it's like one of those things where I had to do that. I went to the beach that night. I couldn't do anything. I mean, I got other work done, but I couldn't do anything as far as the Zoom thing goes because I was just so frustrated. So I just went to the beach because I knew the water would calm the outside senses, so to speak.
Mhm.
And so when I started kind of relaxing and getting into that back into that state, I literally had this energy inside of me saying, because I was mad. I was really mad. I was yelling at God. I was yelling at everybody. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm being real honest. I was like, "You need to fix this."
Yeah.
And so
I've been there. I've been there.
and and I heard, "I will. However, you have to start letting me take over."
Yes.
And so I was like, and I'm like, and of course the resistance came in, and I heard, "But I am you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah. I get that. I teach that." No. You're not getting it. I am you. And so I had another experience where I was on the beach and my arms started to come up
Oh,
and
that's
stuff like that.
cool.
And so and I was like, and then I heard, because I'm always usually saying, "I know you got me." I heard, "I got you."
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, while you're saying that, these are some things I need taken care of. And I heard, "I got you. Just gotta listen." So I
Yeah.
woke up Thursday morning. My body still had felt stress on it, but it wasn't the same. It was clear in the mind, if that makes any sense, and clear in the heart. And so I started just relaxing again, and I got back home, and I heard, "Call Zoom right now." And I got this little girl that got on the line. She started giving me the same spiel that everybody else did, and then I finally said, "Listen, if I come off as rude, I'm really, really, really sorry, but this is something that's very important to me." I said, "So just this is about as nice as I'm going to be on this call, so just letting you know." And I said, "But I need my freaking recordings." I didn't cuss. I just said my freaking recordings, and I said, "I'm sorry, but this." And so she backed up a little, and she goes, "Jeremy, let me come. I'll come back to you in a couple of minutes." She came back and she told me what was going on, and then we disassociated my account, and it got it taken care of. But so there's a part of us that we might have been gone into. I don't want to be rude and all this other kind of stuff, and I set it up to where I said letting her know I was frustrated. And there's nothing wrong with. Remember when Debbie Ford said, in her movie, she talked about, sometimes it's okay to be a bitch, and
Yes.
and so
And
she yelled,
I am one, and so are you.
and she had somebody say, from a speaker up in the front of the room that she was sitting as a student in, and somebody said, looked at her and says, "You're a bitch," and she said, "I know that, but how does she know that?" And the woman said, "Well, let me ask you a question, Debbie. If you're 45 days over on a house that you're having built and $250,000 in budget, do you think it may be time to be a little bitchy?" And what she was saying is stand up for yourself. And
Hmm.
so, what happens a lot of times is we don't stand up and we walk away, or we get frustrated, or we kind of avoid it and stuff like that. And in the control dramas, that's acting as an aloof. You're just kind of like, oh, it'll fix itself, and but it
No,
all.
no. Divine love and light, love and light.
Well, yeah, love and light.
And they used to call me love and light, and I thought, oh, okay. Sometimes you have to have a little darkness or the shadow shows up and lets them know that I'm alive and I'm very real.
Well, and it's basically a balance between the both. That's that narrow road.
That is,
So,
that's the narrow road. You've got to see both sides before you can see the narrow road. I mean, it's so obvious. So, yeah.
well, I want to share one more thing real quick, and then we'll chat a little bit more. But I wanted to kind of give you guys. We've been having quite a few signups. But obviously, this is Friday mornings. We're in this right now. We have a journey that's 12 modules. We talk about natural law, and we talk about the basic principles of what we teach. It is $25 for that, but if you take that, there's a coupon code that gets emailed to you if you want to, after you've done those modules. We take $25 off of the very first month of the Society of the Soul. So
Hmm.
I thought that would be really cool. We've got um, a soulful group coming up this weekend, and our webinar is this weekend. So, and webinars pay what you value it at. So you would just register here and pay what you value it at here. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, um, videos and different things in here, books and stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of, book,
Questions.
just information that I think that you might find helpful. But that's mydivineinheritance.org. So, anyways, what do you got going on this weekend, Miss Virginia?
Well, I've got this podcast today. And then Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to go back and go with myself because I don't have anything planned. And we're supposed to have snow here tonight. Now, we were just 60 degrees yesterday. Now we've got 3 inches, possibly 3 inches of snow coming in. And then by Monday, it'll be over and it'll be 60 degrees again. Welcome to Kentucky. So that's
Well,
when
Lisa's watching, and she's in Ohio, so I'm sure that they're going to be just cold.
oh my gosh, I was like, what in the world? But it doesn't matter. But I'm telling you, there is a lot of frequency that's going out. There's a lot of people in all over the world. If you even look at the world, there's a lot of people. And what I really would like us to do is to really focus on all of these farmers and truckers and people who are trying to break the system because we've got to break the system first within ourselves. And when I say the system, I'm talking about the outside system.
I'm not.
Huh? What'd you say? Oh, you're
No,
gone. I don't know what happened,
can
but
you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you, but you just kind of went out and then came back in. But and a lot of things like that. So I'll be doing a lot of deep work about my body because I've got to go to the cardiologist next week, and I've got to go in there and prepare him to my decisions and what I've made. And they have a real hard time because I'm considered a difficult patient. Um, and I am difficult. And I've already died.
It's
So
okay.
they don't, they threaten me, that'll make you die. You can lose. I said, I've already died. So I'm not really concerned about it. That bothers them a little bit. But I'm telling you, you don't do it unless you do that deep work and you really hear that that inner voice, like Jeremy and I hear it, because it's real. It is alive and it will give you the direction. But if you don't have that relationship, it won't. It's a our breath work and the grounding that we do is transformational. And I've been watching some chiropractors that are now doctors, and chiropractors are starting to talk about breath work. Like I've never heard it. And I thought, isn't that interesting? Because now they're seeing how you can lower, because I can take my breath work and I can lower my blood pressure within 5 minutes.
What is your understanding of give your life to Jesus and concept of the Holy Spirit?
I've gave my life to Jesus. Well, really, the Holy Spirit. I know Jesus, but he's still part of the Holy Spirit. I live by the Holy Spirit. I don't live by anything else but that. I listen very consciously because I've been doing it for 25 years. You learn to listen, don't you, Jeremy? Because you know what? Slam you right across the face if you don't wake up. It's like a bitch slap from the universe if you don't listen. So that's why I think I've had several of these events, but also I had my heart attack, my second heart attack, and I knew exactly what I was doing. I knew exactly what I was doing. In fact, all the
Yeah.
doctors were upset with me. So, yes, the Holy Spirit is the source within all of us. So, and it's natural, it's supernatural, it is alive, it's light, and it's a healer, and the healer lives within. I hope that answered his question.
Yeah, and my understanding of the Holy Spirit is this, and Jesus is I'm giving my life to this essence of this spirit within, and that spirit within is everything that is. And
That's
so
it.
why wouldn't I want to operate within this energy that basically comprises everything and that I am a part of? But I'm also all that too, meaning I'm a cell within this vast energy of consciousness. So
Yes, we are. We're
um, we can break that down, and that's just how it made me feel more at one with it. So
mm-hmm.
I hope everybody has an amazing weekend, and um, stays warm if it's a place that's cold. It is kind of cold here in Florida for Florida,
Oh, really?
and so yeah, and well, the 50s is cold for us. So,
Oh,
but
oh, okay. Okay with it. I can't
but
go.
I will have everybody have.
No, I can't go with that. It's like you haven't been in, 12, 1. You have because you've been in there. But yeah,
Yeah, I
that.
was born in Minnesota, so I know.
And I hope everybody had a very good Valentine, since that was such a loving time. And that's why our month is love. So thank you, everybody. Jeremy?
Have a great day. Bye bye.
Yes.